afternoon, Cardinals. This is UIWtv, your source for the latest campus news. I'm Hillary Vargas.
And I'm Alex Trevino.
Early in the spring, the elevator went out of service in the administration building and caused many students with disabilities to be stuck on the higher floors. Let's go to Leonard Herbeck, who has more on this story.
Earlier this spring semester, the elevator in the administration building went down, causing many classes to be reassigned to rooms that would accommodate students and faculty with disabilities. We spoke to a few of these people to see how this affected them and to see what protocols are in place when the elevators do go down.
I was displaced for one of my electronic and digital writing classes to the JB building, but we've since been moved back, and so we don't know if we're going to have to move again.
I think the most important thing is for the students to understand that as soon as we're notified at any time that there's any limited access, we're going to move to a plan and we're going to efficiently and effectively make sure that we can accommodate appropriately.
The most affected by this are those students and faculty whose only means of transport between floors is the elevator.
We have one faculty in the English department who is dependent on the functioning of the elevator. So we had to go through rearranging his classrooms.
The girl that was stuck on the third floor just so happened to be in a wheelchair, and I know that it caused her a lot of distress, especially when campus police didn't show up for her.
Amanda Carter, a two-year student here at UIW, recalled an incident where she was stranded on the fourth floor of the administration building early one evening.
It went down after 6 o'clock, and the procedure is that you're supposed to call disability services. When that happens, well, disability services closes at 6 o'clock. And so what I did was I called the UIW Police Department, and they told me that the elevator was not going to be fixed that day, so that I was going to have to leave my chair up in the admin building, and I was like, what am I going to do without my chair?
With limited options available, Carter called her parents, who then came to campus to assist their daughter.
My parents ended up carrying me down the stairs themselves because the police only showed up twice, and neither one of those times did they show up with a EvacuTrack chair, and basically ended up just watching my parents carry me down without getting in front of them for safety.
So this is not a new problem, and it's a little surprising to me that no long-term action has been taken.
Last year I was stationed in Hillside 1, and I know that our elevator was out of maintenance, and when I reported it, their solution to fixing the elevator was just to remove the certification that showed it was expired rather than actually doing maintenance on the elevator.
In a statement issued by Philip Lopez, Assistant Director of Facilities Management and Services, the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation governs policy on elevators. Lopez also states the elevators at UIW are inspected and certified yearly as mandated by state law. In short, our elevators are regularly and highly utilized by campus students, staff, and faculty. We remain particularly proud of the preventative maintenance program and the safety record of UIW's elevator, a program that's been very successful thanks to strong internal oversight by the department's director and partnership with industry-leading maintenance professionals and state elevator regulators.
I feel like since we are paying so much money to a private institution and we're supposed to be getting our money's worth for it, I think it would be very efficient for the elevator, at the very least, to be working.
I don't think it's in the interest of anybody to continue this we fix it when it doesn't work strategy.
Also, expecting my parents to come and just kind of pick up the pieces is also not an appropriate response, and definitely not a safe response, because what if there had been a fire?
Carter does state that campus police have been reviewed since this incident and that all of their vehicles now carry the EvacuTrack chairs. Numerous attempts to contact campus police have been made. However, no statements have been released at the time of this report. This is Leonard Herbeck reporting for UIWtv.
Students and faculty had the opportunity to listen to none other than Rosie Castro speak about the celebration of Women's Heritage Month. Sara Ganim has more on the story.
Rosie Castro, mother of Mayor Julian Castro, was invited to speak at UIW in celebration of Women's Heritage Month. Students and faculty filled the library auditorium to listen to Castro's views on issues such as education and city reform. After the event, Castro spoke to many interested students seeking advice.
Well, one thing is always to be prepared, one. to do as much as you can to get a good education and to continue that education, but also to be sure that you're volunteering in the area that you're interested in. I just talked to some folks who want to be in politics. You look up elected officials and you try to intern with them. You get into Democratic clubs or whatever the club may be. So it's important to follow your bliss, get involved early. Sometimes when you work at something, it doesn't always happen. You don't get what you want right away. But if you keep at it, sooner or later, you get that opportunity.
Reporting for UIWtv News, I'm Sara Ganim.
This is the 22nd annual UIW puts on the Wellness Fair in order to celebrate healthy lifestyles and Mardi Gras. Get some tips from Gabrielle Raymond, a pharmacy student, about how to be active and healthy. Here's Sara Ganim on the story.
UIW Health Services put on their 22nd annual Wellness Fair, where they celebrated healthy lifestyles and Mardi Gras in one.
This year we have partnered, actually we started last year partnering with Human Resources so that we're targeting employees as well as students because it's such a big event. We think it's very valuable for our employees as well as students to learn about healthy behaviors and things that they can do to improve their health, keep their health, and some habits that they can cultivate over their lifetime.
57 vendors were invited to participate, offering a variety of healthy snacks, screenings, and tips for both students and faculty.
Well, first of all, we like to bring community agencies, and we have 49 of them on campus, to our community to let them know what services are available. And there's so many services available in the San Antonio Metroplex that offer health services, a lot of times at low cost or no cost. We have people doing blood pressures and several kinds of blood testing. We've got vision screening. So we have 2 massage therapists. That's always a popular booth.
Pike School of Pharmacy student Gabrielle Raymond shares what healthy means to her.
Daily exercise doesn't even have to be exercise. It could be just 30 minutes of fun physical activity, go riding a bike, walking your dog, being with your family, getting groups together to do that, just eating healthy, eating right, and just coming to things like this would be very, very helpful as well, just to see where you stand and just asking a lot of questions and just getting educated on that.
Reporting for UIWtv News, I'm Sara Ganim.
With everyone being gone during the week of spring break, some of our Cardinals stayed here at home and gave back to the community by helping out the low-income families fix up their houses for service hours. Let's go to Angelica Flores with more of the story.
Hi Cardinals! While some of you are out at South Padre Island soaking up the sun, other Cardinals have chosen the alternative spring break, which is not only a way to give back to your community, but to gain service hours. How do you feel about giving back to the community?
Feels great, actually. I grew up on the south side in a neighborhood like this, and you see all these old houses around here and always wonder, why can't we just, rebuild them, make the neighborhood look a little bit nicer. So it's nice to give back to a community like this, a community I came from.
So what has been your experience with the alternative spring break?
This is actually my first day out here, but so far it's been really fun. Everyone seems really passionate about what they're doing out here, and it seems like, it's just a chance for people to get together and do something good, and at the same time, have a little fun. It may seem like construction work at first, but then you start doing it and it actually gets really fun after a while.
How do you all feel about the students from UIW coming to your house to help you fix it up?
Oh, it's just wonderful because I've been trying to get it fixed, but I just wasn't able to do it, and it looks good.
My name's Sonny Sines. I work at the Frank Garrett Community Center. I am the assistant director here, and we service low-income families in the neighborhood. And this is a very low-income neighborhood. Most families earn less than $18,000 a year, and that's a family of perhaps up to 6 people in the family. So it is very low-income families. The university students that came by to help this spring break were helping seniors with disabilities painting their homes.
As you can see, UIW is very big on community service and always affording an opportunity to get involved. Reporting for UIWtv News, I'm Angelica Flores.
Let's take a quick commercial break and then kick it to Ashley Flores with the latest update in sports news.
UIW baseball currently sits at 6 wins and 15 losses so far in the 2014 season, with their most recent wins against Hofstra and Central Michigan universities. The Cardinals will host Prairie View A&M University tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. before starting a week-long road trip versus Abilene Christian and Baylor universities. In softball, the Cardinals are currently 13 and 16 and in the middle of a stretch of home games. They will play Our Lady of the Lake University in a doubleheader at 5 p.m. Wednesday and then play Nicholls State on Saturday and Sunday, all right here on campus at Cardinal Field. Men's tennis is currently 10-3 with the women's team currently sitting at 3-11. Both teams will road trip to Louisiana over the weekend to compete against Nicholls State and the University of New Orleans. UIW track and field recently placed 4th in men's and 2nd in women's competition in the 2014 Cactus Cup at Kingsville, Texas. Be sure to come out and support the Cardinals at their home meet on April 11th and 12th. In football news, UIW have booked Baylor University for the 2019 season. The game will be played on August 31st, 2019 in Waco, Texas at the new McLean Stadium. The 2014 spring football game will be held at Benson Stadium on April 5th. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Ashley. You know, the Cardinals are doing great this year. Now let's take a look at our weather update for this coming week.
Well, that concludes today's news coverage. For more news stories, you can log on to www.uiwtv.org, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. Once again, I'm Hillary Vargas.
And I'm Alex Trevino.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.